Hi, Eduard. How are you doing?
Hi, Luis. All good. Thanks for having me.
Oh, no, thank you. You are actually my first guest in this new podcast. Thank you for being here. You're actually one of the first people I ask because I know you first, but also because I've kind of followed your career, your progression, and it's quite inspiring. So I wanted to have you here to share with the public. If I have any at any point, hopefully I will.
I'm humbled,
So
Luis. Thank you.
So, ladies and gentlemen, this is Eduard Barroso. So, he is the founder of two companies that I know of. Maybe he's working on the third one.
Not yet, but I have
Not yet.
the third one closed already. So,
And you started very, very early. I met you, I think, 10 years ago. No, not 10 years ago. It was a bit after that. It was 2007, 2008. Around that date.
2016.
16. Wow, it seems longer. Maybe because I have kids and they make my life very hard, and and these years look like a lot. Anyway, so Eduard, you've traveled a lot, doing networking, trying to bring more business to your companies. You work in a city, but you actually was born in another city, and you travel between the cities, so you commute a lot. And at the same time, you kind of balance this work and life, hustle. How did you do it? Where did you take the time from?
Okay. Yeah, right now, well, I was born in Girona, and all my clients are in Spain and in Switzerland. So I travel a lot between Barcelona, Madrid, Zurich. And then my girlfriend lives in Italy. So I'm just commuting all the time. And to be honest, the first years, I was closed in a cave. So the first 4, 5, 6 years, when I created the first company, then the second one, gaining traction, I was just working at home. And now after 5, 6 years, everything is more or less ongoing. So now I have more time to dedicate to other fields of life, and I'm quite happy about that. But at the beginning, it was a challenge to
I believe you. So, how old were you when you started?
I started right off university at 24, 25. Yeah, so it's been a long time.
Yes. So, about that. So, I've met two types of people. So, those who were encouraged to do what you're doing, and others who told their family, no, I want to do this and that. And they were told, like, oh, no, man, where are you going? That's crazy. What kind are you? So did you have support from home, from your parents and family to push your dreams, even though they sounded like very big and very high, or you were told to be realistic?
No, I'm very proud of my family and my parents. I think that they were really supportive. I don't know if they told me everything, but always I felt that they were supporting me, both financially and also in terms of knowledge, because I took advantage of their knowledge to create my first company. So just to give a little bit more of context, I graduated, I started working in a big data consulting firm, and that was my first and last job. I last like 15 months. So I said, I quit like this. I had a good job, just finishing university. Actually, I didn't finish, and they hired me already. So everything was pretty nice, but I was not happy, and I quit it like this without having. I mean, I had a dream, but anything else. So it was a little bit rushed, but I always felt this kind of support from them. So and also friends. So I'm happy about that.
Nice. So when you say I wasn't happy, you were restless. I guess you had more ambition. How did that feel? Can you put that in words?
I felt like I was looking at the window while working, thinking about other stuff. I always had this inside of me, like being creative, having like a saying about strategy of the company, new products. So I was trying to, of course, I just started in this company, and I was talking to the CEO like, hey, we could do that, we could do this. And he was like listening to me, which I think it was a lot. But of course, I saw that he had his plans, of course. And this thing really troubled me at night. Like, okay, I want more. I finish work and I keep thinking how to improve things with the clients, with the service, with the products. So I needed how to express this. And I saw that very fast that working for another one, I couldn't satisfy this kind of appetite. So
Nice. So can you mention a couple of milestones where, I mean, you drop your job, right? Then you start doing your own thing. But
yeah.
what's the first milestone where you say, okay, this is working. So yeah, I'm doing it.
Well, it was a huge, it was a large travel around through the desert. So I think it was like 2.5 years since I started seeing the light. And actually it was not with the first project, the first company that incorporated, but with the second one. So it was a challenge to keep, grinding, to keep positive and to keep working towards something that wasn't certain. And also I put all my money in the first venture. So I was losing my money that I saved during the years. So it was tough, but I always had this idea that if I was doing what I loved and I surrounded myself with people that they helped me to improve, like you, for example, when I met you, it's like a fresh air that you get, like extra motivation, someone that introduces you to somebody and you see the light, but it was like 2.5 years of just keep working with the results, investing money, and yeah.
And was it hard to keep yourself positive and not to lose faith in what you were doing? Like, did you ever feel the temptation to going back and get a job and just forget about all the effort and all the hard work?
Never. I never doubted about my decision, and I always find a way to get a learning or to see myself in the next phase of the journey. So that encouraged me to keep going all the way. Well, I still does right now because I'm always doing a new project. So I guess it's like this.
So this is just an assumption, but it's also based on conversations that we've had. So, okay, you start working hard to get there, to get to your goal, but then obviously you have a lot of work, you have to do long hours. When do you start thinking about self-care as a strategy? Not like someone is telling you, hey, you're working too much, you should take a break. No. I'm asking you, after you started, how long it took for you to think, okay, I need a strategy not to work too much and also do some self-care?
I think I was in this, how to put it, like in this guerrilla mode, while you're building that you can die tomorrow. So you don't think about yourself. You don't think about even a salary that you may need to survive. So I was there like for like this 4 or 5 years, just struggling to create something. And when you start having something, then you start realizing that maybe you need to pay attention to your health. How do you live? How do you maintain your relationships? So, but it was after seeing that things were going, in a certain way. While it wasn't like this, I was completely focused on just grinding, building. Actually, I don't know if you know that, but my first office was in my flat. So the dining room was like, or the living room was like the office, and 6-7 people were put there every day, like working towards midnight, So
I didn't know this.
So it was like the Catalan version of the garage in the United States,
Yeah, I was thinking of the Facebook movie,
Exactly.
where all these nerds in this house. But it was a very expensive house with a swimming pool and doing all crazy things, and I don't know, swinging on the lamps on the ceiling. Yeah,
exactly. So when you are in this position, you don't think about health, a balance in your life. It's just like, let's build something and don't die tomorrow. So you are in this mindset, and
I guess it also comes with the age, right? I mean, at that
Yeah,
age, you don't really think on too many things. It's just, yeah, I'm
yeah,
having fun, I'm enjoying this. So,
yeah. 25 to 30,
yeah.
you're invincible for sure. Now I'm
Yes.
31, and I appreciate the other things in life, So
Well, speaking of that, I'm about to ask you about reflection and recharging. So, yeah, you're going through this phase of working, grinding, but we all know it works for artists. It works for people in our profession as well. You need to sometimes just tell everyone to piss off and get some time for yourself, not just to rest physically and mentally, but also to allow yourself to reflect on what you've done and to get new ideas. What you said before about fresh air, that doesn't necessarily come from external people. It also comes from you one day having a walk and just enjoying yourself, and just boom, your mind starts working again. It starts being creative because you're not stressed, you're not hyper focused on something, on some specific problems, but I don't know, you're just walking and you see people enjoying themselves, and suddenly you have an idea that comes like out of nowhere. But it's not
mhm.
out of nowhere, it's somewhere in your head, but because you were so focused, um, it didn't come out. Did you have
Yeah,
this
to get
moment?
perspective, to get
Yes.
some perspective. Yeah, I totally agree with you. I actually wanted to say that I can work like this or be like focused like this because I have well, I always had to or try to have a strong vision. Okay, so for me, if I don't have this vision, I don't work. And to have this vision, it's not always there. Sometimes you have to rephrase it, to search for it. And what I did a lot was, apart from taking long walks in the nature, I used to, and I still do it. I went like 3 days, 1 week, all alone in the mountain, like kind of retiro,
Hmm.
being there, isolated, not speaking, reading, listening to podcasts, just reflecting. And I always had these kind of moments where I could find myself, my voice. Then, of course, we didn't mention it, but I'm not a developer. I'm in the commercial part. I'm in the business part. So I actually took a lot of advantage of a lot of conversations with like-minded people that they always give me some hints, inspire me. So in the end, it's like this work-life balance where maybe I was drinking some beers with a friend, but I was mentioning something about work and some ideas were popping. So I always had these kind of moments. Yeah, you say you never rest. Yeah, that's true. But but I enjoy them. So
Nice, nice, nice. By the way, this podcast could have been sponsored by Put a Stop Drinking here. Let's continue. Let's talk about artificial intelligence. It took the
okay.
world by storm. It surprised us all. I started reading on Twitter about, yeah, GPT-3, I'm doing these experiments. I'm talking to this chat that replies in a very coherent way. It sounds like a person, but it's not. And then boom, suddenly we have ChatGPT. After that, we hear about Midjourney. And I don't know exactly when it started, but every day or every week we had a new tool that was even more impressive than the one we had the day before. How did you live this? How did it impact both whatever you're doing at the moment, professionally speaking, but also, you had your roadmap in your head about you had ideas, and
Mhm.
probably these new things are disrupting some of these ideas or even accelerating them. I don't know. Tell us about your experience
Sure.
with AI.
Sure. I always been quite skeptical of AI, even though my final degree project in the university was related to artificial intelligence. That's when I started to get in touch with neural networks, and it was 2014, so it was pretty early. But when I started working, uh, I met with a lot of people with projects that they wanted AI, but they didn't need it at the moment. It was like we need to automate this, we need to digitize this, and they wanted this huge, complex artificial intelligence algorithms, but it was not required. So I always was a little bit skeptical. But suddenly, something happened, what you mentioned, and I saw like a leap forward, a real use cases with a business model, with solving real issues, and it also took me by surprise. And I'm very practical, and instead of trying to read a lot, I read a lot, but to study a lot, I like to be involved in projects. So right now I'm trying to get involved into projects related to AI. For example, in my vision, it's always been like creating software for healthcare, digital health solutions. And right now with LLM, for example, that we are starting a project with large language models, we see a complete new range of possibilities. While before we were just tackling like operative things, like automating certain processes, but now we can gain much more knowledge, take much better informed decisions. And here is where I see the impact. And it's something that I didn't see like 5 years ago when everyone was asking us to implement artificial intelligence. But now when they tell us, I believe in it. So my mind completely changed. And right now I'm trying to get involved in this kind of projects because I want to understand. I see a challenge professionally, that it's how to implement these algorithms, this machine learning into production. I think I see it like it's going to be the next challenge, but that's good because it means that it makes sense to make them, So I think that we have done this leap forward, and I'm very excited about what can we get from it.
Good. Yeah, when we had all of this, when for instance, when the craziness started, I discovered that there was a documentary on Netflix called The Age of AI. No, it's not Netflix. It's actually YouTube originals, but it's from Google. So it's called The Age of AI. So I thought, this cannot be the same thing because this is 5 years ago. But I looked at it and I saw real use cases, and I felt kind of stupid for not knowing about that. There were people building, and I'm saying building, I don't know if it's the right word. They were building food out of different proteins with the exact shape, smell, and flavor than this food that they were trying to mimic. So they were doing milk out of nothing related to milk. They were doing meat, vegetables, all kinds of chocolate. And they had chefs. This is happening in Chile, in South America. So, and they brought huge chefs from everywhere in the world, and they made them try the food to try to see if they could tell the difference. They couldn't. And they were so mind blown by this that they went back to their countries and started using these things. It's like, I don't remember the name of it now. I will put it in the subtitle below. But yeah, craziness and things like that. I didn't know it even existed. Today, for me, ChatGPT is like a glorified text predictor. But more or less. Anyway, so speaking of this, speaking of the future, did you imagine that we would get where we are right now in terms of technological innovation? All the things that we're seeing, and at this pace, did you imagine this when you started?
I don't know what I really imagined, because it's like it's every year I was learning new things. It's what I love about technology, about our sector, that it's always evolving. Certainly, when I started playing with neural networks, I wasn't even grasping the power to solve real issues, real problems from society, and I'm quite amazed, especially like this, like I was saying, the healthcare, where there's vast amounts of data managed like almost manually most of the times, and I'm starting to see how you can process them, how you can label, how you can understand what's underneath, and I think it's gonna be amazing, and I couldn't foresee it, and certainly it took me by surprise. But I think that what we have in this sector is that we adapt really fast. You have these people that start talking about that and then starts talking about another thing, all the hot topics. But then there's the builders that they took it, try to tackle a project, to start with something little, no, and learn. And I try to be in the second group, of course, with my colleagues and my employees, and that's what we are looking right now.
Yeah, speaking of groups, there are people who are actually afraid, and because I mean, automation up until now, it looked like it would never get to us, developers and technical people. So it looked like, okay, yeah, we're going to replace the person working in the supermarket, the person talking to you in the bank, but never to us. And now it looks, I don't know if it's a real possibility, but there's talks out there. And at the same time, it might, for this reason or for some other reason, there's been a lot of layoffs in a lot of big companies. And people are, paranoid. And you can tell on Twitter, on social networks, that people are really talking about this and saying, take care of your job, because it's not like before. We have the memes saying, okay, 2021 was the best year in the world, and now we're almost like asking for help to pay the rent because we've been laid off, and when we got a new job, we're being paid less. So what would you say to these people who are afraid of everything that's coming and all the talk out there?
Okay, tough one. I mean, I'm in a point of view that I believe about not substitution, but transformation. And for example, today I was speaking with a friend that it's a medical doctor that is doing an app to help doctors get to the diagnostic, and they were using ChatGPT. And the beauty of that is that he was able, he was able to get to a huge accuracy by knowing how to prompt. So he's not going to be replaced, but he has to learn how to prompt, to be more efficient. So he will be required in that sense, in the ecosystem. But how he approaches the patient, how he approaches his work, of course, will be transformed. But this is something that we all know, at least in this sector. Maybe in other sectors, it's slower, the change, and maybe you don't see it that much. But it's our day-to-day, new technologies, new architectures, new things. So you're changing all the time. And I believe about this transformation. Of course, if you don't want to transform, if you want to be there blocked, then maybe, yes, there's no place for you. Or it's going to be difficult to adapt. But I think that we need to evolve, we need to transform, but it's not going to substitute, all the jobs. Layoffs, especially in tech, for what I've seen, there were companies with tons of people where they were, maybe they will require like 30, 40, 50% of them. So I think it's normal to reshape. Actually, we also did it, and it's not about AI. It's about the financial ecosystem situation that you live. So it's more like this. How I say it. I don't know in the future how it will be, but for now, I think that's the case.
Well, I can tell you from my experience, I've been in the business since 1997. The customers have no idea what they want most of the times. So if they had to describe this to an artificial intelligence, it would reply, please make up your mind first and then talk to me. By the way, dear followers, this year could be a place for your logo and you could be a sponsor. Anyway, now a quick question. Okay. Tell me an oops moment. Some moment where suddenly you were like, oh no, what have I done? A big mistake, but it was too late to go back and you were in front of people, no time to react. What did you do?
Well, that's a good question. I think that it was at the beginning of my first venture that I was trying to do this huge corporate sell without knowing, and so I started approaching a big insurance company, and I didn't understand that they were corporate and that we were like 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 a group of hippies, let's say, like 25 years, with the dogs, with everyone there, just long hair, like and
I know the guy.
they were and they were interested in our proposal and our product, and we invited them to our office, and the faces that I saw when they saw the ecosystem, it was in our house. So the dogs, the people, I think that they were genuinely afraid of what they were seeing, so so for me it was one of the times that I was like, oh, maybe that was not a good idea, and they were there for the whole meeting, but they were like, what's going on, are we going to be hijacked or something, and
is the dog gonna bite me?
Exactly. And then we arranged some food for them, so it was like being at home. Well, for us it was.
Crackers.
They want some macaroni, and it was pretty funny, but maybe I would change that, because I saw that the fear in their eyes.
Okay. Well, in other occasions where they also fear is when a lot of people in suits arrive, because they think, oh, this is going to be expensive. Anyway, Eduard, let me finish with a last question. One more question. One last thing.
Sure. Can
you give me your hot take or unpopular opinion about anything you fancy or you hate?
Okay, no, unpopular opinion. Yeah, I think it's okay, because I was just having this chat with a couple of people in the sector, in the tech sector, and I like that everyone has a network, and I push the developers, the software engineers, to create, to maintain, to evolve their own network. And I was speaking with our CEOs and friends that I have and they were like, "Are you crazy? Like, do you know the war that we are in? I mean, everyone is stealing developers from one company to the other, and you are supporting them to engage in conversation with other companies. Why do you do that?" And for me, it's like, it's like you need to create this kind of. For me, and it's one of my takes in entrepreneurship. It's all about creating a network. And what I like from the people that surround me is that they also have their network. So I encourage them, I support them, and some opportunities arise from there. So, but it's something that I always speak with people, and they say, "You're crazy." I don't know your take, because you're you've been a software engineer. You also curate a network. So I don't know if you agree with me or if you're more.
Yes, I think I should create my own network, regardless of what the company I work for thinks, because it's for my own survival. Probably they won't want me to go to a meetup in the competition's office. Probably they won't be happy about that. I still do it anyway. I'm saying this publicly. I'm going to the competition's offices, and I meet people there, and that's fine, because they're developers, they're people like me. And exactly. This is a community. The tech community is very strong. And if you only talk to the people within your company, that's endogamy, and you don't hear new things. You don't bring anything new to the table, because everything happens within the same closed circle, and you don't get anything. So I go out, I talk to people, and I try to do the things. So I agree.
I know that you would understand me, but a lot of people, they say that I'm crazy. So maybe that's an unpopular opinion.
All right. I expected something more. I don't know. It's the first unpopular opinion I ask in public, so I expected that to be, I don't know, this is going to be viral, but no, that's fine. All right, Eduard. So yeah, thank you for giving us your input, talking about your experience, and it's been a pleasure having you in the first episode.
Sure.
Thank you so much. You always will be the first.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. And yeah, nice to chat with you again.
All right, so I'll stop the recording. You can stay for 5 more minutes and we can say goodbye. All right,
Okay.
so thank you guys. Bye-bye.